What's up, Richmond, Virginia? It's your man, comedian, activist CJ Richardson. And today, I'm sitting here with a friend of mine, William Burnett. He's running for the Richmond City Sheriff's Office in 2025. So we're just going to chop it up a little bit, a little casual conversation. I'm excited to have you here today.
Thank you.
Because everybody that knows me, they already know that I'm big on community. You know, it doesn't get any bigger impact on the community than being the city sheriff. You know,
yeah, so, and you definitely 100. I don't think a lot of people really know how the sheriff department impacts the community.
Definitely,
it really is it affects the safety. It affects of course, the budget, staffing issues and concerns. So it's a lot of things that people really just don't look when they're talking about the sheriff department. They don't talk about things that really impact. You know, and coming from me, I'm that type of brother that I want to get out there on the streets and really do some work.
Yeah. So one thing that I think most people think when they think Richmond City Jail, the city sheriff, people locked up.
Yeah,
that's all they see.
That's it. And see, I got to change the culture throughout the entire city, not just within the sheriff department. But I got to change the culture of how people see the sheriff department. So that means I got to change the color of the cars. I got to change the uniforms they wear. We got to do some different things in the community that the sheriff department has never done before. Right. So I want to play a role in reducing crime in the city of Richmond. That's one of my goals.
Definitely, because when I see the city of Richmond, the sheriff department in particular, you know, like I've been living here in this area for 20 plus years, you know, and I'm just being serious when I think of the sheriff's office. Oh yeah, they locking somebody up today, you know. So I'm interested in knowing. So what impact are you going to put on the sheriff's office if elected to be more of the city sheriff's office? They're here, they're our friends, they're our partners, they're here to help.
Now see, you telling jokes again. I know you're a comedian, and you said if I'm elected, when I'm elected.
Well, that's what I like to hear, that positivity.
Right. But like I said, I'm going to do some things that culturally we have never done before. You know, I'm on partnership with the police department because the police department has a lot on them. And having a second organization that has the authority to do the same things that the police does. Right. See, people don't understand. The sheriff department literally has more authority than the police because the police are tied to a jurisdiction just as well as the sheriff organization is, but the sheriff being a state employee, we have jurisdictions for felonies anywhere in the state of Virginia.
Okay.
So if I see you robbing a bank in Chesterfield, I can arrest you and take you to the nearest magistrate.
Well, that should be the proper thing to do.
That's right.
Yeah, because we got to get some of this crime reduced.
Yes, exactly.
And if you have the authority to do it, and we're fully staffed, there's a lot you guys can actually do in the community.
And you hit it on head when you say fully staffed. When we get fully staffed, the sheriff department now is at a critical point, far more critical than it's ever been. And it's you know, when we're fully staffed, you're gonna be amazed at the new things that you're gonna see coming from the sheriff department.
Definitely, and I think one of the things that we touched on in a personal conversation is how you're going to utilize your powers to create things inside of the jail to keep the inmates' brains always going, activities for them to do. You want to elaborate on that, son?
Yeah, it's going to be through what I'm going to create is our Office of Inmate Advocacy, and it starts at the door when you enter the jail. Right. And it's the entry point. You're going to sign a small contract that says nothing legally binding, so I don't want everybody to get all worked up, he going to make us sign a contract. But just tell me something that you want to do, what your plans are.
So I can help you.
Yeah, so I can help you get to that. So I'm going to plan your way in the door, I'm going to plan your way out the door, and I'm going to give you an option to follow up with us. Right. Because a lot of times people get out there on the street, they get with their boys, and they start doing the same thing.
So I guess what you're saying is it's going to be like a plan of action.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be like what a prison or jail is supposed to do. It's supposed to rehabilitate people.
Exactly.
It's not supposed to punish people.
Right.
Right.
Well, I would take that, I would say, as a person that get arrested and end up in a jail or prison, it is two phases to it.
Correct.
You're gonna be there to do your time and for the punishment you was received.
Correct.
Or you're gonna be rehabilitated. And it's ways that the majority of the people, I'll say almost 80% of the people that come to the Richmond City Jail won't go to prison. They're gonna be released back out in the community. So I got to prepare those people, make them better citizens when they leave the jail, that they ain't sitting around idle thinking of ways to go back out. One of the things that I've discussed is when people leave, they got all these fines levied against them.
Right.
So this new program, and I know it's possible because it's already being done. It's just, again, not reinventing the wheel, but we're going to find jobs for those guys to do before they leave the jail in order to pay their fines, so they're not burdened with that when they leave the jail. And this program is through the judges of the city of Richmond, and they'll pay up to minimum wage. So here you got an inmate preparing himself to get out. It's making minimum wage before he even hit the streets.
Right, yeah, that's going to be a setback. Mm-hmm. There's not a plan of action. So we talked about some of the light stuff. We got to get into the good stuff. I'm not saying good is because nothing about jail is good, but we got to talk about some of the more serious things that happen in the jail. And one thing I think the entire Richmond area wants to know about is, like, first of all, how are these drugs getting into the jail, and what are we going to do to prevent them in the future from getting into our jail?
I will tell you that, and just being straight up, we have bad law enforcement officials, just like we have bad doctors, bad lawyers, bad teachers, whatever the case may be. And sometimes we get those bad ones to sneak through the crack, and they are the ones that facilitate it. Now, I'm not saying that that's the case down there because I'm not there.
Correct.
I can't tell you what's going on, but I will tell you these are the ways that most drugs get in. They either give them through deputies, they come through contractors, whether they be nurses, whatever the case. It comes through not having a plan of action and people on the roofs fishing stuff down and they coming in through the. So my thing is a 3-point prong attack that I'm going to use. One, I'm going to use technology, because if you've seen the news that they talked about how they found ladders and all kind of stuff on top of the jail when people are coming over there to try to fish stuff down, I'm going to use drone technology. So when you're using drone technology, because a deputy can be out there monitoring the property, but if I'm in the front and somebody's in the back watching for me to let me know that deputy is in the front, then I got time to go do what? But if I got a drone flying over top of the building,
see it all,
even in the dark. Not only that, I'm going to use canine. Now, when I talk about canine, a lot of people say, I don't know about dogs. But I'm telling you this, these are the little fluffy, pretty dogs, some of them that you can put in your arms and rub them and all that. And all they do is they detect drugs. When they detect it, they sit down. So I'm going to bring in dogs. Now, where that's going to help is when that staff member or that contractor comes into the jail and he makes that first bend and that dog is sitting there. By the time you hit that first one and put him on the news by that afternoon,
that'll cut some of that.
That's going 50% of it's going to be. And the third part is I'm going to create a tip line, an anonymous tip line for not only the inmates that can call in and report stuff, but other staff that don't have to say, hey, boss, I saw Ray, deputy such and such bring drugs. He can get on that phone and call it in anonymous, and he ain't got to tell us that. And then we get our investigation team.
Gotcha.
So those are the types. I'm gonna take those 3 prongs and I'm gonna stick them in the jail, and I promise you, we're gonna see a reduction. I will tell you that these things aren't possible. When we came into the Richmond Sheriff's Office in 2006, we were plagued with the same issue. Year 1, we reduced at the end of the year, we reduced our assaults by 80%. Year 1, we had a $5 million deficit coming in through assaults, attacks, all of that was going to. By year 1, at the end of that year, we turned that deficit into a surplus.
Nice.
And all 12 years, we gave back money to the state that we was there. All 12 years, back to the city and the state. So we met budget every year.
Another topic of concern that's major as well, the safety of the prisoners.
Right.
You know, we see where, if you watch just the news, you don't have to look for it. It pops up. Inmates had to be rushed to VCU, or some didn't get to VCU due to various things that had happened in the jail. So what policies and procedures are in place to prevent some of these things from happening?
Well, I would tell you, I can't tell you what's being done down there now. I can only tell you what I see based on what we all see on the news. But I will tell you, when we came in, it was just a matter of tweaking small things. I mean, the small things, if you tweak the small things, it's going to reduce the big thing. Yeah. I came in and I was told by a couple of the majors that I worked for, they worked for me, saying that you'll never get these guys to not talk in the hallway. You'll never get these guys to stay in line. I went to other facilities and I brought back from Rikers Island things that they did to reduce their crime. And it was a matter of just putting a little small disciplinary type and holding people accountable.
Gotcha.
Once you hold people accountable and you know that you're not going to tolerate them assaulting other inmates, stealing other inmates. When I was there, I responded to every assault on another inmate, every serious assault on another inmate. If I wasn't at work, the next day I was on that party. And I showed them that not only I'm going to be held accountable for what's going on, but everybody that worked for me was going to be held accountable.
Okay. I think the last topic I want to hit on before we get out of here, man, morale. Officer retention, and fully staffed, at the jail seems to be a concern, because I do understand that there's some, I want to say hundreds, I'm not sure because I'm not there either, but I understand there is a shortage in officers. So how do you boost morale? How do you get back fully staffed? And once you're fully staffed, it reduces crimes inside the jail as well.
Exactly. And the thing about it, again, it's nothing major about them. When people don't leave jobs, they leave bad leadership in most cases.
Okay.
This is a situation that I'm seeing that I'm being told, I'm not down there, but I'm being told, and I'm seeing it on the news. When you got almost 200 employees short, that's not turnover.
Right.
That's management. You can't keep saying, I'm short, and not come up with solutions to fix the problem. Well, the simple solution is start treating people decent. Start treating people fair. A lot of people say, well, it's the money. Well, the sheriff department down there is probably $2,000 under what another agency is. And I will tell you this, we've done studies before and we found that people don't leave jobs because of the money. Because if I give you $60,000 next month, but I still treat you like crap.
Right. That's not a good recipe.
Yeah, you're gonna be right back where you was with the $60,000. So what you got to do is just a simple thing: change the culture, change the culture of the place. And how do you do that? You give them other options like positions that they've never had. People get tired of being stuck in the back of jail, dealing with inmates that call, fussing and arguing and going back and forth. So you got to give them an outlet. So you create programs like a power unit that they've never had before. You create a scared straight program. You create a warrant unit for them to go out there. You do things, I'm gonna buy a couple motorcycles because I want the civil process people to be able to maneuver in and out of the downtown area easily when they're serving papers.
Okay.
So that's, and that again, that gives them that pride. I'm gonna change the uniform. I hate the brown. I'm gonna change the brown. I am. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna come in wearing my new uniform before everybody else and let them know this is what you're gonna get. So it's a lot of things that you can do to boost morale. You just got to do it, and you got to do it fairly.
All right. Hey, I want to thank you for sitting down with me today. Richmond, Virginia, I encourage you to get out and vote 2025. Richmond City Sheriff, think of the name, remember the name. There's only one name, William Burnett. Get out and vote.
2025, remember that.
2025.
All right. Thank you, my friend.
All right. What's up, Richmond, Virginia? It's your man, comedian